Burgess and Bolton's weekly wrap-up. Hello, Ben.
Hello, Jeremy. Happy Christmas.
Happy Christmas.
Nearly. It's come around so fast.
It has. It's just so quick. So quick. Hello, everybody, and welcome to Burgess and Bolton's weekly wrap-up, where this week it is a Christmas wrap-up. It's the end of year show. So we're going to be reviewing the year a little bit. We have got some alternative awards as well. We also have a bit of a quiz for you, Ben. But to kick things off, I made you something. Don't know, you might have seen this, but here we go. Look at this.
It's really good, that, yeah.
You like that?
Morecambe and Wise in the 70s. That
is brilliant. So there we are. Okay,
very good.
Let's get the show on the road. So let's start with a bit of news. So we just thought we'd have our news of the year, didn't we? And yeah. I kind of chose the future at Lloyd's and Blueprint 2 for a number of reasons. Firstly, it's still rolling on from whenever it was first devised.
1893.
1893. That's official. And I feel so that there's a couple of things I want to say about it. So I feel there is genuine momentum around change. There is still big issues that we talk about a lot, but actually, on the whole, there are positive vibes around the modernization of Lloyd's. And we touched on this last week, but I think we're getting to a point where there's a bit of tension between kind of what I will term the digital future that the Blueprint is trying to usher in, and kind of the analog past that people don't want to let go of for very good reasons. You know, face-to-face still has its place, but what we're trying to do is work out how we use digital to enable better face-to-face conversations, business, I suppose. So that was my kind of take on the Blueprint 2 and what it means. What do you think?
Yeah, I think it's a part of everything, a part of what potentially is the future. And my view is it feels still quite Lloyd's focused, and that's because it is Lloyd's focused. But my take on the year has been more around a word that I don't like using, but I will use it: juxtaposition, if you like, of what is the past things. So we've got the cycle, the insurance cycle, we've got war, and we've got an economic crisis triggered by energy, among other things. And then on the other side, we've got this glimpse or vision of the future, which is technology, talent that does the kind of really interesting solutions, innovative type jobs, and even taking away some of the vanilla, boring, commoditized part of the job that underwriters do around algo trading, things like BritCai and so on.
Yeah.
So I think we're at a quite interesting point. I hesitate to say whether this is the point but it does feel like a lot of things are coming together, and I think for everyone in the industry, it is incredibly challenging at the moment, simply because it's hard to know what this future is. I know Lloyd is always very assertive about the future, and this is what a vision is and everything, but I don't really honestly think any of us really knows. So I do agree with you that things are moving forward, but where we end up, I don't entirely know. I mean, there are huge pressures on the pricing in the market at the moment, and equally, you know, senior brokers are saying you can't just keep on putting prices up all the time. So where I end up at is, how do we, over the next year, 23 will be very interesting, how do we maintain an industry that is profitable, thriving, has a view on the customer, because it is pivoting towards the customer. We're talking about customers' expectations changing, and finally, you know, an industry that's relevant really and valued. And those are all big questions. You know, they're still asked, even though you can say on the one hand, insurers are doing well, rates are going up. On the other, brokers are doing pretty well too. Insurance industry looks okay from that perspective, but there are also really big challenges for the industry overall. And so I think a lot of people have got to step up to it, and it'll be interesting, really interesting. It'll be about leadership, I think, really about quality leadership in the end.
Yeah, cool. So, Ben, I promise you some guests. So I've got some guests. Should we hear from our first guest?
Yeah. Yes.
This is Paolo Cuomo, who's just started at Gallagher's, and friend of the show. We asked all our guests what their highlight was from 2022, what they're looking forward to in 2023. So let's hear from Paolo.
So happy Christmas, Ben and Jeremy, and to your audience. Well, 2022, what a year. If I had to just pick out one thing, I think it would be the beginnings of the discussion of what this time last year I was saying could be a trend, which was, or is, robot in the loop. And so robot in the loop is the idea that, you know, we've all been talking about human in the loop for a while. And frankly, I think we're finally admitting that, you know, AI won't be taking over for a while. And therefore, the idea that it's primarily a sort of AI robot driven process that occasionally jumps out to the human may not really be where we're living. We're more living in a world where essentially it's still a human-centric, human end-to-end driven process, but we want to increasingly be passing certain tasks out to the robot, the tasks that are more mundane or the tasks that are more sort of data crunchy intensive. And I really think that as a concept is starting to get clear with people. You know, there's a few perverse side effects, which is you're starting to hear people say, well, you know, I liked the mental break of some of the mundane work during my working day or my working week. And if the robot's starting to do all of that, I'm spending the whole day sort of having to think hard, and that's hard work. So, you know, as we've discussed previously, you know, you can give the robots and the AI all sorts of things to do and plan a future, but sometimes the humans get in the way. But yeah, we will remain human-centric for a while, and the robot in the loop is what's going to make us more efficient and more accurate. Now, yeah, following that theme as we go into 2023, I think that AI will still dominate a lot of conversations as it sort of overlays all the necessary but, you know, somewhat less funky discussions around sort of core data records and underlying data sets and things. But I think a trend that we're really going to see in 2023, and what I'm really excited about, is how AI is training AI. And if that sounds a little bit sort of meta for you, apologies. But if we take you know, sort of a lot of the algorithmic training, and for example, the way we train chatbots over the last few years has all been, you know, very difficult for the trainers. And fundamentally not particularly effective. And I know that over the last couple of weeks, people have been playing with this ChatGTP tool that's gone online, and you know, a lot of what people have been doing with that has been sort of slightly superficial and fun. But actually, what's really important about the development of that technology is the way that AI has been used to train the AI and make the ability of the AI to not just sort of follow relatively standard rule sets, but really start to think in ways that are more likely to replicate the way we humans think. So if 2022 was about really talking about the role of robot in the loop, then 2023, I'm excited about the idea of AI training AI. So let's reconvene in a year's time and see if any of that came true. But in the meantime, happy Christmas, have a great time, and best wishes to all of us for a fantastic 2023.
Thanks, Paolo. Always good.
Thanks, Paolo.
Always good to hear Paolo, isn't it? And we picked up on that was our news item, wasn't it, a couple of weeks ago?
I'm signed up to ChatGPT, and I've talked occasionally on the same theme of. I'm with Paolo there. I think it's really interesting what is happening in AI in general, which is this idea of it training, and I also think a lowering of the hyperbole, I think, is really interesting around AI. I think things get less successful when the hype increases, and more successful when people get confident and go, we don't need to overplay this. This is just pretty good in itself. And I think that's probably why perhaps a bit Paolo and both of us picked up on it, in the sense, which is it seems like there's something going on that could be useful. But we may not be here next year. It may be just AI.
Maybe. That'd be a blessing for some people. Right. Are you ready, Ben, for a Christmas quiz?
Yes.
Right, here we go. What's every elf's favourite type of music?
Oh, go on.
Rap. Terrible. Let's have another. Who is Santa's favourite actor? William Dafoe. Ho.
Jeez.
It's terrible. Okay, here's more of an insurance-y one. See if you can get this. What am I? The bane of people's lives before 2019.
Is there another clue, or is this it?
No, there's another clue.
There's another one, is there?
Impossible in 2020.
Oh,
Back with a bang in 2022.
I don't know. Working in an office?
Yeah, nearly.
Face-to-face meetings.
Face-to-face
Not bad.
meetings.
Yeah, working in an office. That's right, really.
Yeah.
Nearly.
That's
Face-to-face. Yeah.
terrible Christmas quiz. And that's
Good, that.
for another year. Thank God.
Thank God for that.
Let's hear from someone who's a bit more sensible. John Muir, our friend. Let's see what John says.
So, hello everybody. Happy Christmas. It's very nice to be invited on Jeremy and Ben's show, which I watch every week and keeps me vaguely entertained. They've asked me to tell you what my highlights of 2022 are. And I'm sorry to have to tell you that I don't really have any. It's possibly a bit too honest. But I suppose my highlight for 2022 is the fact that we've arguably set ourselves to succeed in 2023 on some very important pieces of work, which I think will be the foundation stones for the success of the London market for the future. So the work around the CDR and the updated version of the MRC, I think, are essential components of a digitized placement solution. And the transition in early next year, in Q1, to the PPL Next Gen is something I've been patiently waiting for. And I'm assured it's going to happen. So I get all the right vibes. It is going to happen. And we're going to do it. And what it's going to be is that the current platform is quite old and quite clunky. Somebody who understands tech, which obviously I don't, told me it's clunky tech. I'm told that the next gen platform is a lot more user friendly. And then come Q3, we're then going to get a new version of next gen, which is going to give us the opportunity to submit quotations, probably starting with renewal quotations, electronically on PPL, and do a bit of trading electronically at the quotation stage rather than just using the platform as a placement vehicle. So I think all of these things are the future. And believe you me, someone as old as me, who was a market broker for the first 30 years of my career, I'm still a big fan of face-to-face. So everything we can do to retain our EC3 community should be done and can be done, even in the context of a digitized marketplace. So I am excited about that. What I'm not excited about is my annual Christmas gift from my mother-in-law of a sweater of some festive nature, which I shall add to the 38 other festive sweaters. Do any of you get festive sweaters every year and never wear them? Anyway, I'm not looking forward to that, but otherwise, happy Christmas, everybody, and let's make 2023 a big hit. Thank you.
Another great clip from John. Thanks, John. Happy Christmas.
Got my festive sweater on, mate.
I know. I can't wear mine. It's too hot in here. But anyway, right. Thank you very much.
Yeah, good points. Good points made by John. I think they do gel with what we were saying about next year being really important. Maybe the next few years. And the other thing I think is the general theme of moving away from the idea of which we've had in the past a bit, that it's either face-to-face or something else. I think we're talking about this, Paolo's robot in the loop, or a more blended type of approach. Perhaps people need a bit of time to get used to that. Yeah, that's the thing. That's what it really is.
Cool. Right, let's crack on. Got a lot to get through. So we promised awards, alternative awards. Ben, we're not a big fan of awards, are we? But we thought we would do an alternative set of awards to cut through some of the hype. So our first one is Plain Speaking in the World of Technology Hype Award. It goes to, I've got you a drum roll, Bob James at Lloyd's. So he genuinely does cut through the hype in this stuff, and it kind of goes back to the my news at the top, why I feel it's got some momentum, because he speaks very plainly about the technology, the opportunity, but also the challenges that need to be addressed. And I think it's just refreshing to hear him speak. So there we go. First award, Bob James.
Yeah, very good. He's very good. He's got that US American type of honest, straightforward approach. You want to believe him. He feels he's a breath of fresh air, I think, in that whole environment. I've been really impressed. Yeah, well done. Well done, Bob. I'm sure you'll be pleased.
Yeah. The Banana Award. Right, next. What have we got? Plain Speaking in Insurance Awards. So we've got a bit of a theme going on here. Let's give it a drum roll, and the winner is Lucy Clark. Bit of applause there. There we are. Finish that.
Lucy's great.
Award, isn't it, Ben?
Yeah. So Lucy, if anybody doesn't know, is President Marsh Specialty and Global Placement. She's very senior at Marsh, but that's not the point. She just is, and I've sat on a few panels with Lucy, spoken at a few conferences, heard her speak. She did a podcast, which is worth listening to, with Mark Gagan a few weeks ago. He described her as smart, no nonsense, and a direct approach and a breath of fresh air. I think that's exactly what she is, a bit like Bob. She is that one of those people who every time I hear her speak, she says exactly what I'm thinking, and it sums it up really well. She's definitely no nonsense. She's definitely straight talking. She doesn't let particularly carriers, she represents the brokers well. She doesn't let them off the hook. She's talked a lot about how pricing, how can you have 16 quarters of constant price rises and keep on going like that? She draws attention to things that are fundamentally important, not theoretical. And she's extremely practical, and she's extremely I was going to say simplistic in her view, but what I mean by that is she gets across that fundamental point every time. I think she's great. She's also a really strong supporter of London, strong supporter of businesses that honour the intent of the policy. In other words, claims, which we're obviously we think is underplayed a lot in the market, too much. Yeah, well done, Lucy. Keep it going. She's brilliant, and she's great on D&I and all that stuff too. So she's really good, hugely impressive.
Great. Right, let's break up our awards by hearing from another guest. This is
Hi, Jeremy and Ben. It's been a very exciting year. I suppose the big highlight for me was becoming an independent consultant and being able to work with insurance companies and brokers on their digital strategy. In 2023, I'm really looking forward to launching something pretty special. Have a good Christmas, everyone.
oh, Paul teasing us, Paul.
Probably that jumper.
Yeah.
Whatever is coming after that, the sequel to that jumper.
Yeah. Let's have another.
Paul's another good one. They're all good. No nonsense. Gets to the point. Not too much jargon. Knows what he's talking about.
Yeah.
Hire him.
Hire him. He's good. Right. Let's get back to the awards. So next one. Come on, let's innovate award. And the winner is Mosaic. A bit of applause there. Yeah, specifically Mark Wheeler and Rose Jones. Mark's CEO, and Rose is a marketing and PR, really driving the Mosaic brand, which we've talked a lot about brand, don't we? But with Mosaic, we really feel that you get a sense, even though you don't work for them, of kind of what their core values are, and that is that's really important. So yeah, congratulations.
Yeah, very innovative. They're doing a lot with technology, and I think they're dynamic. You know, innovation means dynamism, and they're a part of a new breed. We could have looked at others. We know we happen to have come across Mosaic quite a lot. We know that their IQW and Inigo and others are doing well, but Mosaic at the moment stands out, didn't it, for us? They're just everywhere, and they're doing a great job.
Yeah,
really challenging and new breed.
Yeah,
brilliant.
Good stuff. Right, let's have another quick clip, Ben. So this is Claire Knight, friend of the show, in the delegated authority space. Let's see what Claire's got to say.
Hi, Ben and Jeremy. So my highlight from 2023 has to be launching DAX, which is a tech platform specifically targeted at the delegated authority market. So enabling digital transacting of your delegated book of business from end to end. So that's been awesome this year. And we've had a really amazing reaction from the market to that. So that's been my highlight for 22. Looking to 2023, I'd say I'm really excited about hitting the conference circuit with DAX. So particularly TinTech going into next year, you'll see me there hopefully. And just getting out there, talking to more people about what we're doing with DAX. That's what I'm really looking forward to in 2023.
Thanks, Claire. Bit of a plug for me. That's very nice of her.
Well, that's very nice, isn't it? Yes.
Yeah.
Conflict of interest, I'd say there.
No.
Anyway, she was, smile.
Yeah. Brilliant.
Smile does it all. Superb, yeah. So much enthusiasm.
Yeah,
and she's doing great. So
he has a lot of energy.
a lot of energy.
Right, let's continue the awards. So the big personality of the year award. David Howden.
I mean, David Howden, he's never not been a big personality. I suspect when he came out of the womb, he was a big personality. But actually, this year, the reason we've featured him on the show every week virtually about things that he's been saying. But most recently, I think he's come into his own, and he's come into his own because his business has grown very quickly, and he's done a lot of good stuff there, which is amazing. He must have very few hours, minutes left in the day. But he's also started to pitch in the argument about the future of the industry and how important it is to look at innovation and growth and not to be this institutional, quite slow growth industry. So he's really calling out for us to go from good to great, or from perhaps mediocre to great. And look, all the things that have been said by people today are all part of that bigger picture. But he has really captured it really well. He did a great speech at Firma. So he's a great advocate. He's a good speaker, and gets out there. So more people like him.
Yeah.
But well done, David. Really good.
Yeah, that's excellent work. So yes, David gets that award. Why don't we go to Germany, Ben, and speak to Rennie? See what Rennie's got. Now England and Germany are out of the World Cup. It was safe to ring him up and ask him to do this. So
yeah,
let's see what Rennie's got to say.
Hey, Ben and Jeremy. So my highlights for 2022 are actually two things. First of all, the thing that we as a company launched our holistic solution offering for the London market, a holistic insurance platform, innovation platform. And actually the most exciting thing for me was to be on stage in the old library at Lloyd's. Amazing. We had many people there, and I think the London market is really looking for innovation, and I'm really proud to be part of that. Then my second highlight was definitely the ability to run our own user conference this year again in Las Vegas. We had almost 3,000 people, and it was really amazing after this pandemic to see a lot of people in person, to have a lot of exchanges about the future of insurance, how insurance can actually innovate. And it was just amazing to see all of these people around the globe, from Europe, from Asia, from the United States, and have this exchange with them. Now, looking forward into 2023, I think the biggest theme for me is really data and analytics, artificial intelligence. But at the same time, I think we live in a time that is less predictable, less certain. So I think insurance can play a really nice role, an important role, or insurers themselves, in providing more certainty and maybe predictability to people, to businesses, to any kind of endeavor that is out there that needs insurance, and that is going to become more certain and predictable through insurance probably. And I think due to the, ever-changing nature of risk and new risk now, I think this is a huge opportunity where data and analytics can really play an essential role in being more proactive, but also more predictive as an insurer to your customers. With that, I wish you all Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, and I'm really looking forward to see all of you in person at maybe TINTEC next year. Let's see.
Another plug. I didn't tell them to do that.
I'm sure you didn't.
I didn't.
Like a Rooney.
Oh dear. Thanks, Rennie. As always. Yeah, good themes, aren't they? We're getting a nice...
Yeah, we got it. This is the leading group. This is the people who get it. You could analyze this, and it would basically surmise everything about the market you need to know.
That's it. All in one place, on one show. Right, let's continue. Don't worry, folks. There's not too many more of these. What? Oh, well, it's gone now. Award goes to Lloyd's virtual underwriting room. Although it's a bit of a first wrap, not much. We did realise that it got binned in November last year, but we still didn't know what it was and what it was for. And yeah.
How do you bin a virtual room? Is a metaphysical question. Anyway, I'm really sad this has gone, because I never knew what it was, though I tried, and we tried on this show to work out what it actually was.
We did.
And we really did try, and we've got a whole research team, obviously.
Hundreds.
I never knew what it was, but it was such good content for the show, and I hope Lloyd's does something like this again, whatever it was.
It made us smile. Good.
It did make us smile. I don't know if anybody visited it, or it's like another metaphysical question is, if someone visited the virtual underwriting room and you didn't see them, did they do a deal?
Yeah.
Did they place a risk?
Anywho, that's all behind us. Right, let's do the last award then, Ben, which is Tech Word of the Year award. It's got to be ecosystem. If you're not in an ecosystem, then you might as well pack up and go home.
Yeah.
That is the
if you're not using this, if you're a tech provider, you're not using this word in every sentence.
Yeah.
Forget it. You've had it. No, this is quite a good concept, I guess, but it's a very fashionable word. It'll be something else by the end of next year.
Yeah.
Because these sort of things are ephemeral, but it does sum up the way that people are thinking now about technology and systems and how it all comes together.
Yeah.
Who knows what the next one will be, but that has been the word of the year for sure. Ecosystem.
I think it was also closely followed by agility. That's the agile.
Yeah. Well, I mean, API is used a lot as well, but that's not really. That's always been around, hasn't it?
It's only been around for 40 years or something, Ben.
I know. That's more functional, and it'll probably stay around because it names a thing. But this is an abstract concept, isn't it? Ecosystem. No doubt technology people will say it's not abstract.
Yeah.
It's to us.
Yeah.
It's to us villagers.
And that's the end of the awards for 2022. That's
okay.
It. So we do have, though, a final guest appearance. Your mate and mine, Julian. Let's see what he's got to say.
Hi, Julian. Welcome to the Burgess and Bolton weekly, or this is our annual wrap up. So we've just got two questions really. The first question is, what was your highlight of 2022?
I think that's quite an expansive question, but an interesting one. I would say the highlight of 2022 was the launch of Insure Index to begin with, but probably the pivotal point was our first physical event in the Gherkin in London, where we ran the leading underwriters benching, and I think that evening spoke a lot to what a lot of hard work that we did, but also what we were trying to achieve, which is raising the bar, raising awareness, and probably raising competitiveness as well in the marketplace. And I've always felt that people and brand are so intrinsically linked. To see everyone in that physical event for the first time, I think probably the first time in the market something like that has happened, was probably a big highlight of the year for me.
Yeah, I obviously I'm going to agree because I was part of it. I think it was also great for diversity as well, wasn't it? There was a lot of talk about gender diversity and the importance of that.
Absolutely, yeah, absolutely right. I think the one thing I did forget is how hard it is to run physical events, and a lot learned, and some reminders after a pandemic of the challenges that we face when we run physical events. But it was a great evening, I think.
So, what about that was 2022? What about 2023? What are you looking forward to?
I think really follows on from 2022, what we just spoken about. What surprised me most as we finish off the year is how much interest people have had in brand, in measurement, in the science behind a lot of what we do and a lot of how we work with Grace Church. So I think in 2023, I'm quietly looking forward to the first physical brand event. Brand's a thing, as we all know, is pretty close to what I do, and I'm pretty passionate about it. So I'm really looking forward to actually putting that on the stage. And people, you know, what struck me most about what we've done so far is brand is coming further and further up the agenda. And I think to celebrate that in a physical event would be a fantastic achievement in 2023.
Yeah, and brand is like the culmination of everything for a business, isn't it? And we did some work on brokers this year, which said that nearly 100% of them said they were looking for trusted brands to work with. So for the insurers in particular, and the whole industry, I think it's a much bigger thing than perhaps everybody even thinks. And there's a significant amount of investment going in now, isn't there?
I think so, and just watching everyone raise their bar, I think there's an educational part to what we're trying to achieve as well. So I think if there was another thing I'm looking forward to in 23 is trying to build on that and build on the partnerships and collaborations that we're looking to do, which is kind of for the greater good of the industry, I think.
Yeah, a lot of joining up going on, isn't it? It's really good, because having worked for 20 odd years, well, both of us for a long time in this market, that hasn't always been the case. It's been siloed and separate, and but collectively the market working together, I think is quite powerful.
Yeah, I think so. And the early signs are good. I think some of the large scale businesses we're talking to are engaged with that. So 2023 is going to be a little bit of fun, I think.
Brilliant. Have a great Christmas.
And you too.
Your friend of mine, Julian, always good to talk about brand, isn't it? We talk a lot on this show about brand and the experience. And like you said, Ben, it pulls it all together, doesn't it? It's good stuff.
Of course it does. Yeah, and I think there's been touched a bit on the purpose of the industry and everything. So the whole point of why we do this is rather important, and that's certainly where brand comes in, I think. But no, it's good. Yeah, he was a good interviewer, that guy, wasn't he?
Yeah, I don't know who he was, but anyway, it's good. Right. Move things on, Ben. So let's look forward to 2023. Have you got any tips, any highlights, anything you're looking forward to?
Well, we're going to do a show, aren't we, in January on the sort of our predictions or our forecasts for the year. No, I'm looking for, as Julian said, we're doing quite a lot of work around the brands. We're doing a lot of work around the talent and the people. That's a big issue that we've touched on here this year. So I think talent will be a big one. London market, how that develops overall, what's its proposition, I think, blueprint, technology's playing in. The phrase I've used most this year, and I think will be used a lot next year, is joined up, things getting more joined up than they were. It's a bit like you're sometimes just trying to tie two twigs together with a piece of string, but actually...
Is that our show? That's our show, isn't it?
Oh yeah, sorry. No, I mean, but occasionally, you feel like there is we're getting to some kind of higher level tolerance in some of the areas that's actually going to work. I think there are some things that are beginning to come through to give us that platform. So yeah, I think next year it'll be good, and I think as well the more physical events that we're doing next year, which Touchwood is going to be exactly the same, but just more of it. I think we've still got a lot of catching up to do, I think, with all of that psychologically and actually in reality. So yeah, it's good. Yeah, really looking forward to 2023.
Good, me too. That's excellent, and hope you all have a good Christmas and New Year, and we'll be back in January, as Ben says, picking up where we left off. Hopefully, with a bit more production value. I'm going to make us a new intro, Ben. That's what I'm going to do.
Oh, good. Yeah, we do need to refresh our own brand.
Yeah,
I was thinking we
maybe.
should do that in the year.
Yeah. Good, excellent. Thanks very much, Ben. Thanks everyone for tuning in, the support, and yeah, I'll leave you with the Christmas titles.
Happy Christmas, everybody. Yeah, happy Christmas, Jez.
Thank you. See you next year. Bye.
Bye.